Hello, this is John Mack in Project and Portfolio 6 for Mobile Development at Full Sail University, and this is my AlphaMileston weekly video. So this week, the milestone objectives that I had set up were to basically set up the background processes and frameworks to start tracking random acts of kindness given and received by the user, as well as set up the background processes to cache and load that data every time the user, or whenever it's appropriate for the application to do so. This functionality also includes a process to determine whether or not the daily data that has been loaded is still relevant to the current day. So I was actually able to get all of these milestones done, so the project is actually on track as of right now. So everything that we see here, as far as setting a minimum goal of 3 random acts of kindness to be committed on a daily basis, logging those acts of kindness in the event that they do happen, as well as enabling and disabling user input when certain thresholds and goals have been met throughout the day. The pay it forward process has also been implemented. This allows the user to log 6 acts of kindness received from somebody else, which then in turn increases their daily goal to do nice things for other people, which is detailed here in these 2 functional requirements. So for time logs, you can see we have a total of, if I can catch up to it there, a total of 8.5 hours of development logged for this week. The majority of this was spent in Java, as we've only really put one screen together as far as the user interface so far. So the majority of the time has been spent developing and coding those background processes and frameworks. For research time, quite a bit of time was actually spent in research this week, really just trying to figure out best practices as far as how to handle those background processes and streamline the calculations that run in the background so that we don't take up too many system resources. So all in all, we spent about 2 hours on the first day researching best practices for implementing those processes. On Tuesday the 9th, we spent about 2 hours researching ways to kind of work with what UI has been put together so far and make it react to certain situations within the application. From there, this really hasn't been implemented just yet, but we did spend about 2.5 hours, or I'm sorry, I spent 2.5 hours researching different ways to format the date and time output when the system needs to pull date timestamps from objects that have been loaded from the cage. And then looking forward a little bit, spent about 3.5 hours on Thursday, April 11th, looking at ways to create a custom progress ring that will shrink and grow as the user reaches certain thresholds within the application, and that will be implemented in more detail later on. So for a demonstration, so far what we have is this one screen right here, which is the logging screen. This is where the user will spend or do the majority of their interaction with the app. And it's just simply allowing them to log acts of kindness that have been given and received. So a user can indicate that they did something nice for somebody. And you can see down here we have a rudimentary version of the progress ring that will be removed from this screen and implemented in later screens when the application reaches further deadlines. So we've met our goal of 3 random acts of kindness given, and then if we log that somebody else has done something nice for us, you can see our goal is increasing. And then we can then log further acts of kindness committed towards other people. And the app is tracking all of this progress in the background to give the user an idea of where they're at and where they need to be. And that's all we have for this week. Next week, we will be implementing some data visualization to give the user a more visual feedback on how they're progressing for the day and throughout their lifetime with the application. Thank you so much.